And the Washington Free Beacon just broke the story of an anti-Semitic post from Google's global head of diversity strategy. Now, his name is Kamau Bob, where he claimed that Jewish people have quote, an insatiable appetite for war and killing.
So the issue of Google's head of diversity came up at a discussion on The View on June 2nd. And the first question that comes to mind naturally is,
who did the background checks? We always say people will check your stuff. How did they miss this?
But here is the big question, Whoopi. Are we sure they actually missed it? Or maybe they simply didn't view it as problematic?
I don't know. They're Google. They should have Googled him.
That's for sure. But the bigger question is posed by Meghan McCain.
And about why anti-Semitism is the last passable form of bigotry in the United States of America.
And that is the very big question that we have to ask ourselves. What happened that anti-Semitism is so comfortable and convenient to share and expose, as if you know that you will receive no consequences or repercussions if you post anti-Semitic comments? You will be understood. But amazingly enough, the answer to Meghan McCain's question was actually on full display by one of the other The View's co-hosts, Sunny Hostin.
If we're going to talk about what this global head of diversity was addressing, which is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
You see, what Sunny does here is exactly what's being done today to justify anti-Semitism. You take the issue and you hide it behind supposedly political criticism of the state of Israel or anti-Zionism. You don't say I'm attacking the Jews because they're Jews. All you say is I have my critique over the Israeli government's policies. However, the problem is that if you actually read what the guy wrote, he spoke about the Jews' insatiable appetite for war and killing. He didn't say, I have a disagreement with the Israeli policy. He didn't even use the word Israel. He said Jews have an appetite for killing and for war. And I'm just wondering to myself whether Sunny would be as forgiving if these comments were made against Asian American or Black American or any other racial minority. Or, as Meghan McCain mentioned, anti-Semitism is so convenient to be shown on full display because I have this cover that's called the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and I'm not really talking about Jews, I'm talking about Israel, even though where is Israel in his writing?
Because again, this is a very complicated, nuanced situation.
On that issue, Sunny is right. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is complex. It is nuanced. And it's amazing to see so many social media posts and others trying to give me an immediate truth in one sentence or two words just to kind of, it's so simple. It's not. There are many layers to this conflict and to those political issues and many historical facts and figures. However, Sunny, anti-Semitism is not complicated. It's very simple. And what Google's head of diversity or past head of diversity said was Jews have an insatiable appetite for war and killing. Jews. And it should be very simple and a given for you to stand up in public television and say this is abominable and this is unacceptable because this is the United States of America, and any decent human being should not make excuses for it but rather stand up against it and condemn it. You know you wouldn't do it with any other minority. Why do you give yourself the permission to do this when it comes to the Jews?
And so he was discussing the Israeli government's actions. And again, I don't know that criticizing the Israeli government is, by definition, anti-Semitism.
No, Sunny, he wasn't criticizing the Israeli government. Again, he was talking about Jews' insatiable appetite. But as far as your question is concerned, yes, it is okay to criticize the Israeli government. And no, when it's a legitimate criticism, it's not anti-Semitic. Let me also share with you, I don't know when the last time you were in Israel, but in Israel itself, you will find the fiercest of criticisms of the Israeli government. Israel is a state of law. It's an open democracy where the debate exceeds many other debates across the world when it comes to Israeli society and policy. So rest assured, feel free It's okay to criticize the government. Anti-Semitism, though, is not okay.
That is something that I think an expert in this area can address.
Anytime, Sonny. Just say the word. On camera, off camera, I'm there. And I think we should also thank Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Haynes, and Meghan McCain for their clear, unambiguous, unapologetic, just and right positions against outright anti-Semitism. We need to see more of this, and we need to see more celebrities who are not shy to come out against it and not allow it to creep back into our society using excuses or not using excuses. And I think a worthy ending for this is a statement made by Meghan McCain in the course of that very discussion.
Our ancestors weren't out fighting Nazis to have this subtle anti-Semitism start seeping its way back into the American public's lexicon, which is what's happening right now. And we all know where that leads.
Thank you, Meghan. Yes, we do. We all know where that leads. Anti-Semitism is not welcome here.